Autodesk Inventor, Chapter 3. Let's talk about the learning objectives for Chapter 3. You'll understand constructive solid geometry concepts. You'll learn to create a binary tree. You'll understand basic Boolean operations. Set up grid and snap intervals. Set up grid and snap intervals. Understand the importance of order of features. Create placed features. And use some different extrusion options. So that is what you're going to learn to do in Chapter 3. So first thing we're going to do is set up a template. We want that template to be, here's metric. You can look there as metric template right there. And we're going to have a standard millimeter part. So we're going to metric this time, standard millimeter part, and then we click create. So we have now created that drawing. And we're going to follow the tutorial in the book. So the book actually walks you through this whole thing right here. So that's what it's going to be doing. So we're going to go to start a 2D sketch. And in that 2D sketch, we are going to start using Autodesk Inventor. So we're going to put it on the X or XZ axis right here. You see the one I clicked on. I already have my grid up here. So here we go. We're going to draw what it tells us to draw in the book. So here we're going to do our gridded display. So there's your snap spacing. Remember we did that, your X snap. We're going to change that to 5 millimeters and the Y snap also to 5 millimeters. And the grid display, we're going to do a major every, instead of 10, we're going to change that to every 5. So now you can see the grid is much larger. It's a lot, not quite so well defined, not quite so small when zoomed in. So now we have our grid display set up. So we're going to click OK. And the next thing we're going to do is we are going to sketch a rectangle. So we're going to go to the rectangle command and click it. Then we're going to draw a random rectangle that kind of looks like the one they have in the book. Remember, we are not worried about exactly the size of it yet because we are going to adjust that after we draw it. Then you right click and click OK. Now that rectangle is drawn. So activate general dimensions by clicking the dimension button right there. And we're going to edit the dimensions. Right there, edit dimension. So we're going to click this line. Now we have a dimension on that line, which is 85.176. We have a dimension on this line, 30.018. Those are not the dimensions we want. So we're going to change these dimensions to match what the tutorial in the book is telling us to do. So you'll click OK. And then you will change your dimensions to match what the ones in the book say. So you go to Document Settings. We're going to change that display to 0. We don't want any decimals displayed. So we're changing that setting. And now you see it's just 85 and 30, which is much easier to work with because this precision is not going to be crazy like some of the other ones we'll work on later will do. So instead of 85, we want that to be 75. So we're going to edit that dimension and we're going to change it. And you notice when you click on it, it still comes up with the whole big old number. But we're just changing it to 75. So this box is now 75 long instead of that big long number a second ago. So we've changed that to 75. Now the 30 we want to be 50. So we're going to change that to 50. Hit OK. Now we have a 75 by 50 box like they call for in the drawing. All right, next thing we're going to do is use measuring tools. So we're going to use the inspector. We're going to inspect the ribbon tab up here. We got measure. We're going to click on measure. That's under the sketch command, like I said. We're going to click on the top edge of the rectangle. We see that measurement length is 75 millimeters, which is what we set it as. So we'll close that. And then we will go and measure this. We're going to right click. If I can find what I'm looking for here. We're going to select curve loop right here. Click on that. And this brings up that, shows you the length of the whole thing is 250, which makes sense. Now we're going to go up here and we're going to look at region properties. Region properties. Inspect region properties. There you go. Now this comes up. Select region and calculate the results. So there, you see the region is what we drew. So it's sketch loop 1 right there is our region. And we're going to calculate the results. And there is all the results you would ever want about that region right there. When you're done, we're going to click done. So it shows us the centroid, it shows us the X and Y, it shows us the inertia, tension, it shows us all kind of cool stuff. So when we're done, we click done. And now we need to complete the feature, so we click finish sketch. We can do it there, or we can do it up top, doesn't matter which way we do it. And it'll turn it all weird angled like that for us. So we have finished the sketch. All right, so this is our drawing now. And what we're going to do is we're going to extrude this drawing by using the extrude command. Okay, it has extruded, but we're not going to want to extrude it 10 millimeters. We're going to want to change that measurement from 10 millimeters. By the way, there it is. It popped up on my other window. So we're going to change it from 10 millimeters to 15 millimeters. You do not have to type mm after it. It automatically does that for you. So that is now 15 millimeters, exactly what they wanted it to be. Then you click OK. Your extrusion is finished. All right, so now we want to draw on this face right here. So we start a 2D sketch. It's asked us where. We're going to start it. We're going to turn where we can see what we want. We're going to start it on the underside right here on the bottom. So we're starting that 2D sketch on the bottom of the solid model. Now we're going to pick a center point circle. I've turned it to where I like the way it looks better. Now we're going to use a center point circle, which is the default circle. All right, and we're going to put it in the middle of this side. So we're going to go to the circle, your default center point. We're going to do center point circle right here. We're going to do it from the midpoint of that line right there. And we are going to make it the width of that, so 50 millimeters right there. And that is the circle they want you to draw. Then you can click OK and finish that sketch. So now that you've finished that sketch, you have a circle on the bottom. Now we want that circle to extrude through what we've already done. We're going to go to 3D model. We're going to hit extrude. We're going to extrude the inside and the outside of that circle, or the part under and the part not under. Right now it's going down. We don't want it to go down. We want it to go up. It's actually going to go up by 40. So as you can see, we don't want it cutting. It's cutting through right now. We want it to join. So we're going to change that measurement from 15 millimeters. We're going to change that measurement to 40 millimeters. And then once we do, we click OK. And now those two are joined together as one object. That is now the part that we have put together. Those are extruded through. Click on a new 2D sketch. Circle. We're going to go from center of that circle this time. So there's the center right there. I don't know why it won't let me click it. Let's try it again. Run the center. There we go. We're going to make it just a circle in there. So we have drawn that circle now on the inside of it. It is an arbitrary size circle that we want to change to 30. So I actually got pretty close. I had it at 33. So we will change it to 30 millimeters. That circle is now 30 millimeters in circumference. So we're going to click OK and finish that 2D sketch. And now we want to cut a hole through this thing. So in order to do that, we're going to extrude that circle. This time, we're going to go the other direction. We're going to change directions to down. And we want to cut it, which it automatically selects when you go through. And now it is cutting that out. And you have it going straight through that circle. So now you have the cutout that they want, but we're not going to click OK yet. Oh, never mind. Sorry, wrong one. Yes. So we're going to click OK. Now we have all that finished. And now we have another hole that we are going to do. All right, so we're going to put a hole there by using the hole command, as you can see. So we have a hole command, which puts a hole right there where we selected it. We're going to have to move it where we want it, but we have the spot we want it at, so we've selected it. We're going to put a taper of 20 millimeters on this, the direction, 20 millimeters. It is 20 millimeters. So now we have a 20 millimeter hole in our device or our tool part or whatever it's called that we're making. So we want to move it into the right place. So 30 from there. And we also want it to be 25 from there. So now we have it where we want it. We will click OK. It's cutting, it's 20 millimeters. We want to check all that before we click OK. Now we have the hole where they asked us to put it. So the next thing we're going to do is create a rectangular cut feature. So this will be one of the last things we'll do to this before we're finished. We're going to create a rectangular cut feature. So we're going to start a 2D sketch. And we're going to draw a 2-point rectangle from there to somewhere down there. Make sure it's touching that bottom line of the part that we're drawing on. So we've made a 2-point circle. A 2-point rectangle. We'll make another one here. And then one more time, we'll make one over here. So that gives us all the parts of that rectangle. So we're going to finish that sketch. We've only made 2 because we just needed the middle one. And it gave us the distances, which is what we made it, which was 15 and 20. So you see we've made them 15 and 20. And now we're going to extrude that part that we just made. We're going to cut and we're going to say to next. So right there is to next, and you'll see that will keep the circle in there that we want to keep in there so it looks like it's supposed to on the actual part. So we extrude to next. We click to next, and then we click OK, and now we have the part that looks just like the one in the book. So we are finished with the drawing. Now we have to save this on our computer because we don't want to lose it, right? We want to save it. So you go up there and click Save. I made a Chapter 3 folder in my under Parametric Modeling, Chapter 3. So you open Chapter 3, and we will save this. The book says as Locator. So we will call it Locator, which I've already done. So I'm going to call this one Locator 1 because I've already named Locator because I practiced it before I did this video. So anyway, that is how you use those tools in Inventor. Good luck on your assignments today, and we will see you guys in the next video.